Good morning, everybody. How are you doing today? It is the start of a new week, and more importantly, it is World Book Week. So, this week we're going to be really thinking about books. So, today at this moment, I'm at home and I'm in what I like to think of as my special reading seat. That's a really cool seat. I can sort of swivel it around and it moves, and look out the window and I can see hills. And this is like where I go to when I want to have a good read. But what about you? That's what we're going to have to think about is what sorts of things do we do to get ourselves in a reading moment? So have a look on the screen. So World Book Week. Every year we celebrate how amazing books are. And that's really important to do because books are amazing. And I love explaining it this way to people. I think they help us escape into exciting new worlds and adventures. And think about the books you've read. You've been transported into these different places, and just from the words, you can imagine you're there. And it's amazing. What a skill a writer has to transport us into the world of their imagination. And with the characters, characters can stir up all sorts of feelings for us, can't they? Sometimes we can be inspired by them, think, wow, I want to be just like them. Sometimes we can be really frustrated or angry with them. What are they doing? And you can't get to them because they're in the book, but you feel it. You can feel that emotion from the way the writer's written the book. Sometimes it's just lolling, it's laughing out loud when you read something and it just makes you laugh. And sometimes you can feel sadness for the characters as well, and it all comes down to the cleverness of the writers. So when we're reading books, it can motivate us to want to write and use some of these amazing words to create our own stories, and therefore we can share what's in our imagination. So how are we celebrating this year? Well, obviously it's a little bit different with lockdown, but you know what we're like at both Priestmead Primary and the Welldon Park Academy. You are surrounded by staff who love to read and love to celebrate this with you, no matter what. So there will be activities happening in your class, whether it's at home or in school. There's going to be some fun assemblies every day this week where you're going to see all sorts of things being shared with the staff, from the staff. And we want to make sure you really think about reading in your special place. Now, I've said this is my special place, my special wheelie little chair that's in the corner of the room, and I can look out the window and I just feel relaxed when I'm here. And this is my reading space. What about you? Have you got a special reading space, something to think about? And all of us, whether we're at home or whether we're in school, on Thursday, it is World Book Day. So, as always, lockdown's not going to stop us. We want to dress up as our favourite book characters. So, you could focus on reusing a previous outfit. You don't need to go out and buy something. You've got good outfits. Why not reuse them? We read books again. We can use costumes again. So, it doesn't need to be anything new, but we need to make sure we get ourselves in that moment to really celebrate World Book Day. Now, today for assembly, it's going to be a bit of magic. I'm going to transform into 3 characters I've dressed up as before. You may have seen me in these outfits before from 3 different books. When you see me, you're going to have a chance to guess which book is it from. Some of them may be a little bit easier than others, and I'll share a favourite bit of the book. But at the end of today's assembly, you guys have a really important decision to make, and you're going to have to vote on it. So, I'm going to go and transform into my new character. See you in a minute. Bye. Okay, here it is. Here's the first one. Can you see what it is? Can you see what it is? Ooh. So, which book character am I? Which one is it? You should be able to know. Of course you do. It is Mr. Happy. This is part of the Mr. Men and Little Miss book series. Now, I love this. This is one of the first books I remember reading, going back to nursery reception, year 1 age, sometime around then. And I absolutely loved it. And it made me want to read all of the books. And the reason I liked it is because it was such a happy book. And you want to have things that make you happy, don't you? So here's a little bit of the book, and I loved it because it kind of introduced us to the world of Mr. Happy. On the other side of the world, where the sun shines hotter than here, and where the trees are 100 feet tall, there is a country called Happy Land. As you might very well expect, everybody who lives in Happy Land is as happy as the day is long. Wherever you go, you see smiling faces all around. It's such a happy place that even the flowers seem to smile in Happy Land. All the animals in Happy Land are happy as well. If you've never seen a smiling mouse, or a happy cat, or dog, or even a smiling worm, go to Happy Land. This is a story about someone who lived in Happy Land who has happened to be called Mr. Happy. Mr. Happy was fat and round and always happy. What a great introduction to a story. And there are so many of them. The Mr. Men and Little Misses there. So have a little look on the screen. Have you read them? Have you read all of them? These are only some of them. There are lots more on top of this. Now, the big question is, which one do you think matches your character the best? Now, I'd like to think mine is generally Mr. Happy. I'm generally a Mr. Happy kind of guy. But I suppose that sometimes we all are a little bit of all of these. But which one do you think matches you the most? I know before half term, I felt a bit like Mr. Snow. It was freezing. And I know sometimes at the weekend, I'm feeling a bit lazy. I'm also a little bit Mr. Greedy. But what about you? Well, that's what we'll have to wait and see. Now, that's this book character. It is time to get ready for the next one. Who's going to be next? Watch this space. Here I am. So, the question is, which book character is it? Let's look for some clues. He's got a high hat. He wears a velvet coat with his green trousers. And he also wears a waistcoat, a man of good taste. Slightly eccentric, a little bit out there, a little bit quirky. Who is it? Who is it? Who does he remind you of? Don't say Mr. Hamidi. I know I wear waistcoats too, but it's not meant to be just me. It is, of course, meant to be Willy Wonka from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Now, this was one of my most favourite books when I was growing up, so probably around year 2, year 3, year 4, sometime around that age, when I was reading these books. Oh my gosh, what fantastic stories Roald Dahl produced. And this one in particular really captured my imagination. So what a great idea! You could get to go to a chocolate factory and then maybe even own it, but you had to get to know Willy Wonka. And I thought it was amazing how Roald Dahl described Willy Wonka for the first time and how vividly I pictured him before I'd even seen the film. But let's have a read of how he described Mr. Willy Wonka. Mr. Wonka was standing all alone, just inside the open gates of the factory. And what an extraordinary little man he was! He had a black top hat on his head. He wore a tailcoat made of a beautiful plum-coloured velvet. His trousers were bottle green. His gloves were pearly grey, and in one hand he carried a fine gold-topped walking cane. Covering his chin, there was a small, neat, pointed black beard and a goatee. And his eyes were the most marvellously bright. They seemed to be sparkling and twinkling at you all the time. The whole face, in fact, was alight with fun and laughter. Oh, and how clever he looked, how quick and sharp and full of life. He kept making quick, jerky little movements with his head, cocking it this way and that, and taking everything in with those bright, twinkling eyes. He was like a squirrel in the darkness of his movements, like a clever old squirrel from the park. Suddenly, he did a funny little skipping dance in the snow, and he spread his arms wide, and he smiled at the 5 children who were clustered near the gates, and he called out, "Welcome, my little friends, welcome to the factory." His voice was high and fluty. "Will you come forward, one at a time, please?" he called out. "Bring your parents, then show me your golden ticket and give me your name. Who's first?" What a great introduction. And I remember reading that and thinking, I know exactly what he's going to look like. And here I am today, dressed as him. It all seems to have happened. Now the question is, can you remember who was first up in the story? Who did step forward first? It was Augustus Gloop. It was Augustus Gloop. But Roald Dahl has written so many brilliant books. How many of them have you read? You can see some on the screen there. Which is your favourite? Is it Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Is it something else? Absolutely amazing, each and every one of them. But we need to crack on. We've got one more character to find. Who's it going to be? Are you ready? Remember, you'll be able to tell from what I'm wearing. See you in a minute. Here we go. Here we go. Which book character am I? Hang on. Any ideas? Any ideas? What's coming to mind? What do we think? What do we think? Some of you, if you know, you know. I think it's going to be the clue on this one. I am a Jedi. I am a Jedi. One of the many Jedis that you find out when you read Star Wars. Now, Star Wars we know as a film. I think lots of you know it as a film. Some of you may not have realised it's also a book. And it's a really good book. When I was about year 5 or year 6, this was one of the first books I got into after I'd seen the film. I saw the film first and loved it. And then I heard there was the book. It was like, oh, wow, there's a book on this as well. But there is. And actually, originally, the title of it was The Adventures of Luke Skywalker. Now, some of you may not be into Star Wars at all, and you'll be thinking, oh my gosh, Mr. Hamidi, why? But don't knock it till you've tried it. That's what I say. Now, one thing I love about Star Wars is that they all start the same. They've all got that same introductory sentence, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. And I love that because I love space. I think it's really exciting, the idea that there are worlds out there that we don't know about. And I'm so excited with what's happening at the moment with us landing on Mars. What a great opportunity to discover new planets. But here is a little bit. Here's the prologue, sort of the bit that sets the scene for the story of Star Wars A New Hope. So I'm going to share it with you. Now, one of the things I did love about this was it pushed me as a child to learn new words. There's some tricky vocabulary in here. Some of it you may know, some of you may not. Be something you can have a look at afterwards and find out more about. Another galaxy, another time. The old republic was the republic of legend, greater than distance or time. No need to note where it was or whence it came, only to know that it was the republic. Once, under the wise rule of the Senate and the protection of the Jedi Knights, the republic throve and grew. But as often happens, when wealth and power pass beyond the admirable and attain the awesome, then appear those evil ones who have greed to match. So it was with the Republic at its height, like the greatest of trees, able to withstand any external attack. The Republic rotted from within through the danger, though the danger was not visible from outside. Aided and abetted by restless, power-hungry individuals within the government and the massive organs of commerce, the ambitious Senator Palpatine caused himself to be elected President of the Republic. He promised to reunite the disaffected among the people and to restore the remembered glory of the Republic. Sounds good, doesn't it? But once secure in office, he declared himself Emperor, shutting himself away from the populace. Soon he was controlled by the very assistants and bootlickers he had appointed to high office, and the cries of the people for justice did not reach his ears. Having exterminated through treachery and deception the Jedi Knights, guardians of justice in the galaxy, the imperial governors and bureaucrats prepared to institute a reign of terror among the disheartened worlds of the galaxy. Many used the imperial forces and the name of the increasingly isolated emperor to further their own personal ambitions. But a small number of systems rebelled at these new outrages. Declaring themselves opposed to the new order, they began the great battle to restore the old republic. From the beginning, they were vastly outnumbered by the systems held in thrall by the emperor. In those first dark days, it seemed certain the bright flame of resistance would be extinguished before it could cast the light of new truth across a galaxy of oppressed and beaten peoples. Wow! What a load of new words that may be in there for you, but what a great way to really set the scene for the amazing stories that all encompass Star Wars. And there are so many books out there. Did you know that? You may have seen the films, you may have seen the cartoons, the animations, but the books are out there as well. So George Lucas, what a star creating Star Wars to begin with, and so many great reads out there for you. Whew! Time for a final transformation. See you in a minute. Bye. And we're back to normal again. And we're back to normal again. So, how was that? Wasn't it good just to see different books and different characters? And I've shared a little bit with you about my favourite books. So there is always time to read. You can read books, you can read comics, you can read digital books, you can listen to books, you can read magazines, read things online. But the key thing, the key message from Mr. Hamidi is read, 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 read. That's what we want you to do, is just really enjoy reading. Now, I said at the start, there is an important vote. So what I want you to do, in the comments on this link, you can type in a comment and I want you to vote on which character should I dress up as on Thursday. So which one of those three you've seen today shall I spend all day dressed up in school on Thursday? Do you want me to be dressed up as option A, which is the Mr. Man one, Mr. Happy? Option B, Willy Wonka? Or option C, do you want me to be dressed as a Jedi? So, A, B, or C? A for Mr. Happy, B for Willy Wonka, C for a Jedi. You make the decision, and I will count up at the end of today the most A's, B's, and C's, and then I will dress up as that person on Thursday. So that's something for me to look forward to, and hopefully for you to look forward to as well. But for now, let's take a moment to reflect. And today we've really talked about the love of reading, the excitement of reading, and the brilliance of good writers to take us into their imagination and help us escape from life today into a magical world of mystery, action, comedy, all the things that we love to read about and learn about and find out more about the characters in those stories. Think about the books you read, think about the great things that you love, and you too can go on to be a great writer. So, that's all for today. Now, on Friday this week, I'll be back again talking about, excitingly, us all coming back to school next Monday. We cannot wait to see you all. I can't tell you how excited the staff are. All I keep hearing from them is, oh my gosh, we miss our classes together. It's been lovely having children in school. It's been lovely still seeing children at home, but having our own class bubble back again, that's what they love. So that's all your teachers or your teaching assistants, your lunch staff, the office staff, the science staff, everybody cannot wait to have you back in school next Monday. So on Friday this week, I will do another assembly, just talking it all through so that everyone's ready for what we're going to be doing from next Monday. So keep on staying safe. You've shown brilliant resilience, absolutely brilliant resilience, whether it's through Blossom or Try the Flyer style, depending whether you're Priestmead or the Welldon Park Academy, you have shown resilience and we are proud of you. So keep it up, keep it going, and we will see you soon. Have a fantastic book week.